Good afternoon. It's Brian Shannon from Alpha Trends Blogspot. Today's Tuesday, the 17th of April, 2007. And the S&P 500 finished with a gain once again, further confusing the short sellers in this market. The spiders gained 38 cents, or about a quarter of a percent. And the market is extended, and we saw a little bit more volume today, but the market's extended and continues to make new highs. So again, the only thing that matters really is price. I don't know where my moving averages are in this time frame. I've been seeing a couple little screwy things with my software, so we're going to make do without those. But you can assume that the 5-day moving average is still rising. Looking at this 10-minute time frame, it'd probably be right around somewhere looking like that, I would think. But right now, the market continues to make these higher highs and higher lows. Actually, we had a lower high this afternoon, so we're starting to see maybe just a little bit of slowing action in here. And gee, where'd all my moving averages go? Got them on the 2-minute time frame, got them on the 30-minute time frame. Let's look there. So here's where that 5-day moving average is. Support I would call down near 146.5 at this point. That's where the more important level of support is going to be. But the market continues to be an uptrend, making multiple year highs. So stick with the trend. The trend is your friend, and that trend is higher. Nasdaq 100, same thing. We had a little slightly lower high this afternoon. We are in right now the beginning of a busy earnings season, so got to really manage risk more on an individual stock basis because the risk in the market really doesn't seem that high right now. But a lot of times when you get those moves to new highs after an extended move, they do tend to come in quickly sometimes. Now, we haven't seen a new high yet in the Nasdaq 100, but we're very close in there, and we've got a very bullish-looking market in here as well. So the resistance, obviously, with the potential for resistance, is about 45.5. That's where we've seen prior resistance, and that's where this rally may find resistance once again. But it could be like the S&P 500 and just blast right up through that level. So really not much new to report about the market itself overall. The IWM, Russell 2000, this one came in a little bit harder than the rest of the market. So, you know, the mid-cap stocks have been more of the leaders on the upside. So when they start to falter a little bit, you want to pay a little bit of attention to that because that might mean that they're leading the rest of the market, and perhaps we could see a little bit of weakness. But right now, the support there is 82, and then obviously that 81 level that we're looking at is the breakout area. So a failure below 82, I think you got to get very conservative and look for maybe a test. Hopefully not. Hopefully it wouldn't pull back that low, but down towards 81 is where the more important level of support should be found if we do see a pullback. But the Russell 2000 is up near these all-time highs. They did close with a loss today, though, so they were down a little bit, and that, again, is reason for concern because they have been the leaders on the upside. The semiconductors also lost a little bit of ground. They only lost 2 cents, but nevertheless they were negative on the day. And here's that inverted head and shoulders pattern we've been looking at on the hourly time frame. For now, I can't back my data up enough to see it on the hourly time frame. But again, breaking past this area definitively, maybe 34.80. Would indicate a potential move up towards about $36.30, which would break it out past this range that it's been in recently. So not to sound like a broken record every day, but not much has changed with the semiconductors, so we won't belabor that point anymore. Let's take a look at the stocks we've been involved in. First of all, STKL. This one we got involved in at 12 bucks a share. We've been real conservative about raising our stop in here. We had it about right here the other day. Yesterday I suggested raising it to $12.23. We're still in it. I think right now you could raise that a little bit further to $12.33. Looked like it was going to get going today, but didn't have any follow through. But let's protect 33 cents of those gains and see if maybe we can get this stock to move for us further on the upside. eBay, I'd suggested that I thought it was likely we were going to get stopped out below 35 bucks a share today, and I was hoping we'd first get a move up to 35.50. That I was saying that you should probably sell if it does get up there. Anyways, if you were involved in this stock, it was still a nice profit, up about 92 cents in just a couple of days since over here. So stopped out of eBay with a gain of about 92 cents. We're also stopped out of ASTI, the solar company. This one we got involved in at $10.60. Over here the other day, I'd suggest raising your stop to 1043. So we were stopped out of ASTI today. And new stocks, I suggest looking at CMG. And this is the reason I tell you, trade these based on your own way of looking at the market. I was looking for a pullback to $65 a share, then wanted to buy on strength. Well, the pullback never occurred, but the stock still had a very nice day, up $1.50 or so, and the stock did break out to new highs here on the daily time frame. On the weekly time frame, we've got these highs from back here. Let's take a look and see exactly what that number is. This high here is 67.77. Again, you've got a big short position in here. Those guys are losing money. That can't feel too good. So officially no entry. Hopefully you're involved, though, and have some of those profits. And if so, just raise your stop. We're looking to buy shares of Grow today above 31.10. And when that did occur above 31.10, the stock ran very nicely up to about $32.70, $32.80 or so. I don't know where my indicator went. I've got all kinds of missing stuff on my screen right now. I'm going to have to check that after close. But this GROW, if you're still in the stock, I'd say you don't get it, because when you have a big move like this so quickly, then you got to start looking at these shorter term time frames and saying once it breaks that pattern of higher highs and higher lows, you ought to be getting out probably right in here. Worst case, maybe this low. But if you're still holding the stock and you're probably at about a break even, I'd say you're on your own at this point. It made a very nice move intraday. Hopefully you got out of it and made a nice profit in there. Lawson, LWSN. We were looking to get involved in this stock above LWS. What am I doing? SN. Lawson, we were looking to get involved in above $9 a share. It never traded above $9 a share today, so there was no reason to get involved in that one. PAET, we were looking for a pullback and then a move above 1120. No reason to get involved in that one either. The one short sale I had suggested looking at, without giving any specific recommendations, was FFIV. I said this one looked vulnerable, and hopefully some of you took advantage of the failure of this gap, because it failed very nicely today in FFIV.